Well, when it comes to the holidays, there is so much to do and such little time, and a lot of the prep falls on the women in the home, which can make it a very stressful time of the year. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins joins us from Studio B with a guest who has some strategies that can help us all manage the holiday stress. A lot of people interested to hear this, Monica.
Oh my gosh, and I am certainly one of them. Are you feeling overwhelmed with all the holiday responsibilities? You are not alone, and Dr. Erica Kelly is a psychologist at UH McDonald Women's Hospital and joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, it's a pleasure to be here.
So we know this time of year comes at the same time every year, and we always promise ourselves we're going to be more prepared, but you know, life throws curveballs and we never are. So what do we do and how do we know when we might be overwhelmed?
Sure. So I think there are a couple of signs you can watch for to see if you are feeling a little extra overwhelmed at this time of year. The first is to understand if you're changing any of your regular routine that you know keeps you sane and feeling well. So if you're getting off of your exercise routine, you're getting way off your diet, any of those signs, or you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're engaging in a lot of the sweets that we know it's kind of hard to avoid in this season. But if you know you're falling off of those habits, that's a pretty decent sign. The other sign I say is if you're losing sleep. If you're not sleeping as well, you're going to be even more vulnerable to that stress. So we have to make sure we're watching for sleep as well.
Time constraints are a huge issue, and saying no is a very big issue for a lot of people. How do you manage the stress of those issues?
Sure. I always say everybody only has 24 hours in a day, so you cannot make that any different. But looking at your schedule at the beginning of the week, so carving out a little bit of time just to plan ahead and really look at what your calendar looks like and understand where do you need to prioritize. A lot of us have a tendency to go to the little items or the things that we can do quickly or seem more fun, and then we lose sight of the bigger things that actually might have higher priority. So making sure that you're checking in with yourself at the beginning of the week to really understand what is your most, highly prioritized item or items, and making sure you're focusing there when creating your schedule.
And we always hear, make sure you take time for yourself, but come on, there's no time for me time. This time of year. So what do you tell people how to deal with that stress?
You truly cannot pour from an empty cup, and you have to listen to those regulations in terms of the airplane, right? Like put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. So it's very, very critical. I usually say make sure you're actually scheduling the self-care time, like treat it the same way that you treat at the holiday party. Make sure that's actually on your calendar and protected time. The other thing you can do is what's called habit stacking with some of the stress management strategies. So if you do like a paced breathing exercise or something like that, habit stack it. So do it when you do something you do every single day, like brushing your teeth or eating a meal, and do those relaxation strategies throughout the day, not just when you're in a panic.
That's a great idea. Also, I know a lot of people, and speaking for a friend,
Yeah.
There's a lot of us who say, it's not going to get done right unless we do it ourselves.
Yes, delegation.
Yes.
Delegation is very, very important. And communicating what you need done and how you want it done, but understand that if you're going to delegate a task to someone else, they actually might do it differently. So you're right, it might not be your perfect standard, but knowing that that's still special and it still has that person's touch to it. So make sure you're paying attention to who's around you who can actually help. Most people do like to help others, so trying to delegate some of those tasks and accepting it may not be exactly how you want it, but it's still okay.
What about the family drama and the financial strain that comes this time of year? Because I know that raises a lot of blood pressures as well.
Of course, yeah. Finances, especially this year, I think are pretty challenging for a lot of folks. Spending a little bit of time of thinking about the why are you doing things, I think is important. Right, at this time of year, you might be spending extra money on not only the gifts, but also activities. So going to movies or going to certain holiday events to meet Santa, all of those things really add up. So pausing and thinking about what's your intention for this season. Is it to spend quality time with your family? And are those things going to get you there? if they're just going to make everybody stressed and rushed, that might not be the quality time that you want. So being able to kind of step back and think about where can you save money that still aligns with, the intention of the season is really important. And thinking, I always say, I see a lot of women in my practice, and I do a lot of these first-time meetings where I ask people about their childhood and just ask people general questions, what's your relationship like with your family? Nobody has ever said to me that they aren't close with their parents because they didn't get Elf on the Shelf, right? So it's okay to not do all of these extra things or spend all of this extra money. It's still the love and support that people find most meaningful.
What about when you know that there might be drama at the table for the holidays? How do you prepare for that? And I loved your point about really communicating.
Yeah, communicating expectations. So some of it might be communicating boundaries. So maybe going into a holiday setting, if you're hosting, you can set boundaries and say, hey, our goal for today is just to have a great time, and I'm going to ask everybody to keep the politics aside. Or I'm going to ask everyone to kind of focus on what are we most grateful for and not all of the things that we're angry at. So setting those expectations and boundaries can be helpful. But then also knowing for boundaries to protect yourself. If you need to leave a conversation, that's okay, right? You can say, I'm going to go step away and take a little bit of a break, or you can say directly, I'm not able to talk about politics right now, or I'm not able to talk about this stressful situation because I'm protecting myself. Can we talk about X, Y, Z? So trying to set those boundaries and communicate expectations can be helpful.
And if you communicate, you're going to let everybody else know they can communicate as well.
Yes.
And manage their own stress. These are great tips. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Dave, I hope that helps you and everyone else who might need them, because I know I heard a lot of great points in there.
Yeah, I did. Monica, I was just so relatable. Everyone's watching and like, yeah, I've dealt with that. So that was an excellent interview, and people take a lot away from it, no question. All right, Monica, thank you very much.